Batman fans got some good news in the form of they will get to have one last goodbye with the great late Kevin Conroy as the Dark Knight. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to Studio Jake, my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, so everyone knows I'm a Batman fan, and I've been a Batman fan ever since I watched the pilot of Batman the Animated Series on Fox Kids. I followed it as it moved over to Kids WB and then later onto Cartoon Network as it spun off the Justice League, where Batman was a main character in all of the seasons. And all along that way, we got to meet the great Kevin Conroy. He is my Batman. He was the first Batman that I heard theatrically when my parents took me to see Batman Mask of the Phantasm in the movie theaters and later owned the VHS tape. Now I have the 4K collector's edition sitting on my movie shelf. I also have an autograph from Kevin Conroy that was for a charity that, again, my parents got for me, knowing how much I'm a fan of that version of Batman. Kevin Conroy was not just limited to Batman the Animated Series, what became known as the DCAU or the DC Animated Universe. And of course, he famously voiced Batman in the Batman Arkham trilogy. And there's no getting around that. It is really cool. It is really great that we had such an opportunity to hear the voice acting of Kevin Conroy. He, like I said, he is my Batman, and I have a feeling, I don't speak for my generation, but I have a feeling for many others in my generation, Kevin Conroy is their Batman. And when he passed away, we were all sad. We were, grieving, basically, similar to how people did when Adam West passed away. Adam West, by the way, was a great Batman for his time, but I just think Kevin Conroy is leaps and bounds better than Adam West, than Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, certainly George Clooney and Ben Affleck, and several other actors who portrayed Batman voice-wise and live action. Kevin Conroy famously got to play Batman live action in the CW's version of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the crossover. And I know he played like a darker version of Batman. He was basically doing, the Frank Miller verse Batman. I do wish he had appeared in costume, but still, it was cool to see him live action. That was pretty cool. And it is sad that that version of Batman got killed off, but one of the things is I felt like that death was handled appropriately since it was such a universe-bending event. However, that was not the case for Rocksteady's game based on Task Force X, and it's very disappointing how they handled the death of Batman, such an iconic character, and with Kevin Conroy voicing him. Now, I did a previous video about that, so I'm not going to rehash it, but we should be happy because Kevin Conroy, this was not his last outing as Batman, thank goodness. Apparently, he voiced Batman for the third part of the upcoming Crisis on Infinite Earths animated trilogy. So there's going to do 3 movies based on what is being called the Tomorrowverse, which is a spinoff of the DCAMU, and they're doing the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, and Kevin Conroy appears as Batman, or voices Batman, I should say, in that series. Now, not the main Batman of the Tomorrowverse. He is going to portray his iconic Batman the Animated Series character, and I'm very excited about this. Hopefully they treat it with much more care, better than Rocksteady did with Batman. I really hope that that is the case. Now, there is a rumor going around because Kevin Conroy was supposed to portray Batman in Batman Caped Crusader, which is a Amazon Prime animated series. Bruce Timm is returning to oversee it, and supposedly he recorded lines for it before he passed away, and so they have to find a new voice actor, and which is disappointing, as a Batman fan. But there's a rumor going around that the audio from that show is what they're using for Crisis on Infinite Earths. He wasn't supposed to appear in that movie, but they just like, hey, we need to sort of pay respect because the fans are mad at Rocksteady and in the video game and how we ended the Arkhamverse Batman. So we need to do something to get them back. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a rumor that was floating around online. And I think that this is a good thing. Hopefully, they will treat the Kevin Conroy Batman with much greater respect than Rocksteady did, and we will see it come together in a good way, because I honestly think this will cause, if they don't, this will cause a bout of bad faith with the fans, and the Tomorrowverse will pretty much be over at that point. We'll have to wait and see, though. I'm not too keen on Tomorrowverse. I thought the DC AMU was much better, my personal opinion, but I do look forward to seeing Crisis on Infinite Earths and how it pans out, especially knowing that this will be Kevin Conroy's last goodbye to the fans and our last goodbye to him. Not only was he a fantastic voice actor, he was just a good guy in general. He always treated the fans with great respect. He involved himself into the Batman fandom. He would go to panels. He would go to conventions. He would do videos for fans who were going through hard times. This was just an all-around good guy. And so we were all upset when he tragically passed away, and incredibly angry with the disrespect that Rocksteady and the people behind that game showed to him when the game came out. But I honestly think that with this, hopefully they've learned their lesson. It's 50-50 here, but hopefully they've learned their lesson, and we will all get to say goodbye to Kevin Conroy one last time. I think if that's the case, fans will be able to move on. It was kind of the same situation with Heath Ledger's Joker. Because Joker was supposed to appear in The Dark Knight Rises, but because of the death of Heath Ledger, Christopher Nolan knew that every live-action actor would be compared to Heath Ledger after that, and so that's why he doesn't even have a cameo in The Dark Knight Rises. He was supposed to have a cameo that's even in the storyboard, but it ultimately didn't happen. And I think that with Kevin Conroy, giving him this last send-off where we get to say, thank you, Kevin, for all your hard work. Thank you for voicing Batman, not just in Batman the Animated Series, but in standalone films and video games, everywhere in between. He is our Batman, and we cheer for him. We think that the work that he did was amazing. And just so you know, look up his career. Kevin Conroy wasn't just Batman. I mean, that's what he primarily became known for, but the man had an incredible acting portfolio. I remember one of the first times I saw him live action was he portrayed a character in Matlock. For those of you who don't know, Matlock was a lawyer show. It starred Andy Griffith, who's also passed away. He played kind of this country bumpkin lawyer who would always wear white suits, was always eating hot dogs, and he would kind of use how people are like, oh, he's just a country lawyer, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he would kind of use that to his advantage to win the case. And Kevin Conroy has an appearance in one of those episodes. Also, not to mention, the man was a fantastic singer. I remember there's a Justice League episode where he sings Am I Blue, and the episode was not auto-tuned. He actually sang the song for the producers. He sang it. That's the one where Cersei turns Wonder Woman into a pig, and so Batman has to work with Zayton to change her back. And then he first he's trying to fight Cersei, but she's just too powerful, so then he makes a deal with her where she'll turn Wonder Woman back into herself if Batman sings. And so, like I said, he sings Am I Blue. He does a fantastic job, and like I said, I found out later Kevin Conroy actually sang it. It wasn't auto-tuned, so good for him. I hope that it all comes together and that it works out with this voice cameo that he's going to do in Crisis on Infinite Earths. I look forward to seeing it, and hopefully it pays respect and tribute to the legacy of Kevin Conroy, who was always going to be our Batman. I've been living life right like I could just die any minute.